Good morning, everyone. It is 7 a.m. and I just finished watching Halloween Ends, so I thought I'd do a quick movie review for you. I really expected it to be super bad because I watched Mike's media reviews, also known as Mike Books Reviews. He did a review of it, and he said it was just like a love story, and there's just a little bit of Michael Myers at the end. There wasn't any action, there wasn't any killing and stuff. And so I was expecting it to be pretty much that, but it was pretty good. Um, it did kind of introduce this new character, Ronald, I think is his name, and he's like just out of high school, maybe like 20-something-year-old guy, and he like accidentally killed a kid when he was babysitting him. I think it might have been like back around the same time. Michael Myers? No, that wouldn't make sense because he's like a younger kid. But I don't know if he served any jail time or I guess he just got off scot-free. So the whole town kind of like looked at him like a Michael Myers because Michael Myers was supposed to be gone. So they kind of like ostracized him because he accidentally killed his kid. And so they also kind of did a nod to Stephen King's It, I think, because there's like this sewer tunnel next to the bridge where the homeless hang out, and like he's getting bullied by these high school kids. But he's like, they were going to have him buy beer for him, and then they like, you're that kid, you're the guy that killed that kid, right? And then they like bully him, and then later on they bully him by throwing him off a bridge, and then like Michael Myers like saves him. Kind of, it's like you think he's dead. Michael Myers pulls him into the sewers, and he kind of transfers his power over to him. And there's this foreshadowing in the part where this girl was doing a tarot card reading, and this girl pulled out the death card. She's like, "Oh no, death." He's like, "No, it's not. Death doesn't mean death in tarot. It means like the end of one phase and the beginning of another phase," which makes you think, oh, that's what they're saying. It's like this is a transfer of power to this new guy, and he's going to be the new Michael Myers, and it's going to, I don't know, be called Ronald, whatever his name is, or it would be called Halloween, a new beginning or something. Like maybe they could keep making more Halloweens now, but instead of the old guy, it would be this new guy, because it kind of ended where they didn't like. They destroyed Michael Myers' body in the end in a grinder. Oh, spoiler alert. But they didn't destroy the new guy's body because, they did this. It's almost like how vampires will make new vampires. They take them to the brink of death, and then they'll bring them back. It's kind of like Michael Myers had him in that sewer, and he kind of just looked into his eyes, and they had a bro moment. And he, I guess the shape is kind of like some kind of new monster that the Halloween series has created. And like the ending of the movie, Laurie Strode's writing in her book that evil doesn't die, it just changes shape. Also hinting at like it's not over, but it's just like changing into a new shape. This guy Ronald. So he's going to be the new bad guy, Ronald. They also kind of did a thing where with the cop, they pulled the cop into the sewer at one point and got him to chase him in there. And Michael Myers was hurt. I think the cop hurt him or something. And he would stab him and he would get stronger. So it kind of shows like every time he stabs somebody, he heals by stabbing. He's kind of like, not Wolverine, he has a healing factor, but it's like, he's got life leech, like in Diablo. When he stabs somebody, he gets life back. That's how he keeps living all this time. As long as he keeps killing, he stays alive. It's like if you get your attack speed up and you get your life leech good, you just keep stabbing through all the killing blows and you just keep going. It's great. But there was some like fighting at the end, but there wasn't a whole lot of like gory serial killer kind of murder scenes like you'd expect from a Halloween movie. But I didn't think it really needed it. It wasn't too much of a love story. It was just kind of like they were talking about running away from Haddonfield, and then he's kind of deciding, do I want to stay evil and be like this new Michael Myers, or I want to run away with this girl? And like he keeps having people like fuck with him, like the guy at the radio station who gets his tongue cut off with scissors in the middle of a broadcast and it's skipping over the record. That's pretty dope. Yeah, I mean, you can't ask much more for a Halloween movie than that. That's like, last movie, Halloween Kills, was a little bit too outrageous. There's a lot of really unbelievable shit that happened. This one, there wasn't that much. There was just like this one girl that Michael Myers stabbed, and he stabbed her, like, pinned her to a wall with a knife. I guess that could happen. I doubt it, but maybe if you got it in the right center of mass and the right bone. I don't know. But, yeah, it wasn't too long. Like, I also had a thing, like, when they killed Michael Myers, they put him on top of a car, and they paraded him through town so everybody could see that he was dead, to kind of, like, help the town heal, so nobody would be wondering, like, is Michael Myers dead? Oh, we all fucking saw him. They promenaded him, like if you were having a funeral, you know, there's a whole line of cars, and then they all meet up at the junkyard, and they put him in the grinder. And then they said, there's going to be no tombstone, no memorial, let the story fade as we move on to try to forget about it. And she's writing it in a book. Why would you write a book if you want nobody to remember it? I don't know, that didn't make a lot of sense. But there's also, besides the movie, there's this controversy with Jamie Lee Curtis has like 2 daughters. She's got one daughter that's like a trans woman that she was at the premiere with her, and she's got the one really good looking daughter, and then she's got the son that's trying to be a daughter, and it's just like fat and ugly. I mean, that's true, but everybody's trying to act like it's just normal and stuff, and it's just so stupid. The transgender stuff right now is like out of control, dude. It's out of, nobody's even allowed to talk about it. And there's a guy with a giant breast prosthetic in Canada that's like trying to get sued, or he's trying to get grounds for his lawsuit, and it's just like everybody's scared to death to even like speak their mind about how stupid it is. Even like lesbians are like, you know, LGBT is like, you know, the T shouldn't be part of this. It's something else. There's scientific reasons for gayness. There's not scientific reasons for all these weird tradies. It's like, I figured out the other day what transgenders are. This is a totally different video altogether than a movie review of Halloween. But you remember back in the 90s, the scene emo kids? It became an epidemic of people that are just like, you know, 80% of the world is dumbasses. And they're all NPCs, and they're all trend followers. And all they do is like, they try to be different than everybody else and try to have a weird uniqueness to them. And the way they do that is by conforming to everybody else that's trying to be different and unique. That's why you had all these emo scene kids, goth kids, or whatever, in like the 90s that were all cutting themselves on the arm. You don't hear about a whole lot of cutters anymore. But back in the day, it was like a physical harm thing. Like kids were going around cutting themselves because everybody else was doing it. And they wanted to be different by all being the same. That's what transgenders are. It's like there's like less than 1% of the population was trannies until it became popular, and they realized they could be like victims and they could be virtue signaling entrepreneurs or like influencers, and now everybody wants to get on that roller coaster and make that money, so everybody has to be a transgender. So I think I'm going to write this to Michael Myers in some way. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get banned for this. But it's just something I realized the other day. It's just like another fad. It's like NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys. It'll go away in about 3 more years and we'll be back to normal.